Okay, here we go. How's everyone?
Hello.
Good. So,
Hello.
um, we're gonna just go over what happened in the last week first. It was a lot. Uh, Let me first thank Victor for all of his work on the back end. We got a lot done. I think our last PR was like 40 commits, both of us together.
That's
So,
crazy.
we really, um, yeah, we really got a lot done. Um, Most of everything has been moved to the Next.js app, mostly. And let me just go through real quick what we have done. Basically, okay, this isn't. Oh, let me share. Sorry. So here, okay. So basically, all of this is adding in Hono API, and so you can see the Hono API if you go to front end and then server. Um, and then you go to routes. So here we have user route, project route, file route. What that means is that all of this stuff, like when you go to the application, all of this stuff is going to work without the extra server, um, pretty much. So the last thing was the GitHub integration, and I think we have a PR here that adds that, right? Right, Victor? These ones deleted, and then
Yeah.
this one added. Okay, perfect. So we have github.ts and routes. Okay, that's pretty. Okay, yeah, that's pretty. That's not too bad. Okay. Oh, okay, here it is. We have git.
Yeah. The test also updated too.
Let me see. Yeah. Okay. I will check this. Oh, that's the test file. Let me put the actual file here. This is the new. This is the new file, and new file. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. These files end up being quite big, which took me some getting used to. But in the end, I think it's worth it because it provides a really solid structure, um, and um, and type safety as well.
Yeah.
So, and I see you also changed uh, the file.ts a little bit, right? Oh, just okay, just a small thing. Okay, cool,
Yeah. That's some changes.
cool. And yeah, as we were talking about in the chat, we have this updated the README a little bit. Um, we have you have to put your environment variables in the front end now too, specifically for okay, clerk was already there, but e2b and the database go in the front end now. Cool. So yeah, Victor has done a lot of work on that to make this all possible, and it's going to make things really smooth going forward, and maybe even a little bit faster. It also makes the server more reliable because
Mhm.
when we restart the server, yeah, everything is exactly as it was. Well, yeah, because it's an XJS app. Um, the couple of things that I just wanted to talk about this is so Victor, you brought up the question of basically can we remove the WebSockets entirely, right?
Yeah. Thinking about moving them totally to the Next.js API route.
Well, I've been thinking about this all morning. The problem is there are two that cannot really be moved. And let me explain. So the first one is um, terminal output. Like if I do like npm install in the terminal, um, then
Okay.
it's going to be pushing text back to the client, and then the other one is file change notifications. Although that one is less important, but basically, you know what I mean. Terminal output, um, because that runs for such a long time that
True.
it can't go in a serverless function. At least I can't think of a way to make that work.
I think I get what you're trying to say.
This Yeah, because if it goes in a serverless function, they have a maximum duration, and once that duration is over, you'll lose the terminal connection actually. So I don't have a solution for that right now. The only solution that I can think of is we just allow people to run the app without the server, and then when they try and use the terminal,
Okay.
uh, then it will show up with a message, and it will say the the server isn't this the backend server isn't running. Please start it.
So just to be clear, I think what you're trying to talk about is the timeout from, is it Facel? Like they have like this maximum time server routes can run. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, I am. Um,
Okay.
However, um, that is the limiting factor. However, even if the timeout were 10 minutes, that would mean that after 10 minutes you would lose your terminal connection. Um,
Oh.
so extending the timeout only extends the problem. Uh, the only reason why we're able to have terminal connections that just where the terminal persists there is because we're holding that terminal object in memory of the server.
Okay.
So in a
Yeah,
serverless
that
function,
makes sense.
yeah, in a serverless function, like let's say I type one terminal command and then I type another. In order to make that be the same terminal, I would have to, in order to make that be the same terminal, you have to keep the memory. Um,
Yeah.
so it's possible we could fake it, but yeah, it's a hard decision, really. I think for now I think my best option for now is that we make it so the backend is optional, but if you try and use the terminal, then it gives you a message to start that you need to start the backend. At least that way, at least that way people can get started running it, and it
Yeah.
feels like it's running. So I think that's cool. That's my
All
thinking.
right. Yeah. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, yeah. It's been on my radar for a while, but I'm very happy. Even if we get 90% of the way there, I'm really happy because that means someone can run 90% of the application with like one commit. That's so cool. And when we first were running this, it took like 1 hour for someone to run the app, because I had to set up so much stuff um, with Cloudflare. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about real quick was the structure of the application. So there's a couple of it might be a little bit easier if I show in like in VS Code maybe. Um, let's see. Let's make a screen share. Let me show the sandbox in VS Code here. Okay. This one. Okay. So here, if you look on the left side, you can see the project structure. Um, I think we're going to reorganize this. I don't want to do it at a time where it's going to like mess with everyone. But basically, there's a couple issues right now. The major issue is that backend and front end share code, but they have separate package.json files. So what that means is that if I install a package on the front end and a different package on the back end, and they're not compatible, then you will have you'll have dependency conflicts. But you won't. I don't think you'll get those until it can lead to some very messy situations. Um,
Yeah.
so the solution is, I'm sure Victor knows, is probably to use a monorepo, um, and then
Mm-hmm.
we will have like a third directory which is like dependencies, and then those will get that will have its own package.json file, and
Yeah.
that will be linked to the other two. So that's the main thing. Another thing does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, I just want to clarify because it's also a new concept for me. I haven't done things that way, but I realize, oh, yeah, these we have now two separate package.jsons that could get out of compatibility. So another issue that I noticed is that the database schema is defined twice. This one in the back end, and then for the front end, where is it? Lib beta? Nope, lib. It's somewhere in here. Server db schema. Did you notice that here?
Yeah, that's true. We have.
I don't know why it's only opening one tab, but you can see it's here twice. Yeah, it's almost
Mm-hmm.
exactly the same. So is
Yeah,
this?
that's true. That's a duplication.
Yeah, I can see what you guys are writing in the chat. Um, so yeah, so I've been thinking, and let me just propose a structure. We'll probably
Okay.
won't do it right away because I don't want to breaks. I don't want to I know that people have PRs that they're trying to merge, and then if I do even more refactoring, then they'll have to. Um, yeah, then they'll
Yeah,
have to
please don't.
more. But we can't hold back forever, though. So,
Yeah.
so it's kind of a race, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of a race to get your PR merged, and that's why we always say make your PRs as small as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we'll try, but yeah, I will try and hold back on this for a little bit. So let me um, show kind of my idea of how it could work. Would be here it is. This one. Okay. So basically, the idea is so right now it's really confusing because we have a front end and a back end folder, but there's also a back end in the front end, which is called front end slash server. And then we have front end slash server and back end slash server. What I was thinking is we just have we have a web, and then we have a server. Um, but server is only for is only for a couple of things. So we could even call it something like secondary server or something, but it's or a streaming server, um, or streaming, for example. Just thinking out loud. But each one of these is a separate app. This one's Next.js, this one's Express. That's what we have already. But then the DB goes into a separate folder, and then lib goes into a separate folder, which is any files which basically all of the backend logic goes here. Then it can be used by either web or server, um, and this will actually end up being a lot of the code. This will end up being quite. This will end up front end. Sorry, web will end up being very big. Lib will end up being big, and then server will end up being small because it's doing very little. And then tests, of course, and then yeah, just configuration files a number of configuration files can then go at the top level. And this package.json doesn't handle very much at all. It's just pointing. It's just like a map of what's in the repo. It's not like doing dependencies and stuff. So yeah, does that. Anyways, I just thought I'd throw that out there, so you all know that I'm thinking about this and that it will have to be done in the near term. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I'm glad to
Yep.
see that. Glad to see the plan that you have already.
I just did it. I was thinking about it this morning. I was looking at the repo,
Okay.
and I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be, this is, we are, we're getting, it's like, it's almost like the more organized you get, the more organized you want. It's like the more you get motivated to organize more. um, which is really good because we are going to be showing this to more and more contributors. And the more organized we are, the more contributors we can handle. Um,
Yeah, sure.
and that's what's limiting us, I really think, is that um, it's hard for people to get onboarded. So we're breaking that down. And Burhan has a friend who might also help us soon.
Yeah.
So um, that'll be a good test. Okay. Um, okay. Speaking of Burhan, I'll pass it over to you to say how it's going with your
Yeah.
changes.
Sure. So I've been working on the AI chat feature for specifically the apply button. Previously we were using the apply feature using GPT-4o's
Hmm.
and the merge concept, but before we didn't have the functionality of accepting each granular change, but now we do have a granular change mechanism which lets you accept each chunk based off what you need. So we made quite a bit of progress on that, but there was a lot of refactoring and changing, going from the merge
Hmm.
mechanism to the diff, because in the AI chat for now we're generating the whole files using the AI assistant. So there isn't much need for the merge feature for now, but in future we should be able to roll it back to the merge functionality. But for now, as we're generating the whole files using the AI chat, we don't really need that. So we're using a diff algorithm to find diffs between the AI suggested file and the file that we currently have, which makes it easier to create a granular change functionality. So I was able to do that. I'm currently resolving merge conflicts because of the refactoring done, and we should be able to see that in production. The next thing I will be working on is accepting all of the file changes that were suggested by AI with a single click. But yeah, that's still in progress. I'll be working on that after resolving the merge conflicts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, this is almost like the most important thing right now, actually, because um, we would ideally be able to, because if I'm doing a live demo this week,
Hmm.
and the accept all changes um, will make my demo like twice as fast.
True.
So how can we help you there, Burhan, to make this happen?
I mean, I would be picking up on it tomorrow morning,
Hmm.
and just after solving these merge conflicts. But I'll be communicating.
Like, it's
Uh,
actually more important that we get the it's actually more important that we get in the next couple days. It's more important that we get the apply all
right.
than we get the individual
Right.
breakdown.
Hmm.
Because if I'm doing a demo, um, I mean they're both helpful to have in the demo, But
Yep.
if I'm doing a demo and I have to go individually apply each change for each file,
Mm-hmm.
it's just quite awkward.
True.
So yeah,
Yeah, we should be able to get that running in a few days,
the
hopefully.
demo is in 2 days.
Yeah, yeah,
So
we got this.
um, we don't really have any time. Um, I think we don't really have any time. So I think the only way to do it is actually if you stop working on what you're working on, and then you see what I'm saying, and then
Right.
try and get that feature in.
Okay.
Because our goal from the chat was to get this existing one done by today. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
understand that it didn't happen in time. That's totally normal. But
Mm-hmm.
then we have to prioritize what we want to get done by Wednesday.
Right.
And if we can only have one thing done by Wednesday, then it's better to have
Most important one done
it's
before.
it's better to have the one that's because this is I already sent you the video. I mean, you know how it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I ask the AI assistant to make something. It outputs like three different files, and then I apply those. I click run, and the demo runs. Right now, if there's three files, it takes me 6 clicks
Yep.
plus a lot of scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We want to make it a single click.
yeah. So actually, if you could just try that right away, see if you can get something working. That'll
Right.
be really helpful. Because the thing is, if it's not working, then tomorrow, like if we don't have it tomorrow, then Akhilesh and I will kind of probably we might try and get it done.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'll start working on that then.
yeah, I think that's better. I mean, because you still have the old code, you can still go add that one after.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
All right, Victor, was there anything you wanted to add about the refactor?
Now, the only thing I was concerned about was socket connection, and you didn't mention about that. Oh, there's one thing also. I noticed that we use process.env a lot in the code base, but I already made like a type safe abstraction about it. And I think that should be like the way we use the envs going forward.
Okay.
So like they are validated, not just that it checks both, how do I put it? It checks the values of the EMVs before you use them. So whenever you run the app, you would have your EMVs ready. It's going to give you an error before it runs at all, rather than
Oh,
becoming tails and the line.
that's nice.
Hmm.
Another question I have that's related to that is how you can. Did I answer the question with the WebSockets?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, good. Another question I had that's related to that is uh, sorry, it's the .env files that we have. We have two separate
Hmm.
ones, of course,
Yeah,
but they're becoming almost exactly the same. Um,
yeah, true.
so what? Yeah, what should we do?
And I think that's a bit tricky because we do want to pollute the back end with lots of the next public next that I'm not sure because it's a convention in Next.js. I have to add like the prefix if you want it for it to show the client. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a tricky decision to make. We could either make them together or separate, but I think together won't be a bad idea. We can share it amongst the whole repositories, the test, the back end, the front end. I think it would be a good step moving forward when we like migrate to the mono repo to have like them in a single file. That'll
Yeah,
be
another option would be to have both. Okay, I can think of three ways to combine it. One is you do everything in one file, and I don't know what is a convention. One is to put everything in one file in the root directory. One is that you can have a file in the root directory, but then you can also have a .env file in the next app as well. That's separate. Another would be
okay.
you have a .env file in the lib directory, I don't really like that. That doesn't feel right because I just would never expect to look there.
Yeah.
But yeah, possibly we could still have multiple, but then you just don't have to put them in the same in variable in multiple places. It feels weird.
Hmm. But I think one is not a bad idea. So thinking about it again, it's not a bad
Everything
idea.
in one file.
Mm-hmm. It's not a bad idea.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's probably fine. The next ones will be ignored by Express JS.
So is there like a timeline for the migration to monorepo?
Yeah. It's a really good question. So it's not. We don't have a timeline. What we have is basically that on Wednesday here we have a demo in the evening. So we are probably not going to be making many big changes on Wednesday um, because we don't want to break anything. So um, I don't know if it would be feasible to do this tomorrow. If it's not feasible to do it tomorrow, then it would be like after Wednesday. I don't think it's a lot of work, um, but I don't. But I say that having never done it before.
Yeah, I have a little bit of experience with it, but not on something this large. So I think that it'd be a lot of learning points for me.
Yeah, I think we most likely we won't finish it before the demo, but yeah, largely it's just restructuring into this structure, but then we have to just make sure that all of these dependencies are in the right that the dependencies are all in the right directories,
Yeah.
and that this linking is correct. So that's what's new. We could try it on a fork. Sorry, on a branch and see what happens. Maybe if we can get it done in 2 hours, but otherwise we'll just leave it for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm quite excited about that. I think it's gonna like really bring things together. um, yeah. So yeah. Um, Omar, did you have something to announce?
It's a secret.
Omar, it's a secret. Yeah, let's just not talk about it.
Interesting. Okay. Wait. So you guys? No, it's a. I can read the chat. So okay. Yeah. I'll pretend I never saw that. But I guess it has something to do with. You must be using Git, right?
Something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Don't worry.
Okay, yeah. Let me just say one thing though while we're talking about the back end. Um, we've been using Git and E2B, right, as the way to run the back end. And maybe this may be related to what you're doing, it might not be. Um, yeah, basically everything so far has been reliant on. We don't have any single point of failure really, except for possibly E2B. Because like if E2B stopped working, it would be very difficult for us to self-host. Like it's not easy. Um, I recently talked to another company that makes cloud sandboxes, and they have a really yeah, a really solid product. So let me just show that real quick. Uh, and so we will not be removing E2B integration for sure, but
Okay.
I will be creating an integration so that we can use other sandbox providers aside from E2B. So if we look, this is called Daytona, and if you look here at the sandbox um, that they provide, it's really similar. Um, you can create sandboxes. Um, Here they're providing the CPU memory amount that they want to have. Let's see, like this is the auto pause that we have implemented already, um, and creating images. Let's see. So here, there's pros and cons of each. So the downside of using Daytona is that I do not know how to make a terminal in Daytona, and so that might actually not be possible for a while, which is a really useful feature of GitWit right now. A couple of the plus sides that they have is that they have two things built in. They have Git built in, which could be kind of useful.
Hmm.
Um, so you can basically connect a folder on the sandbox directly to Git. And then another thing that's really useful to have is like language server, which means that we have been having. So Akhilesh and I had a really interesting problem the other day. Hang on, I need to sign in to GitWit real quick. Okay, here. So we were looking at this here, and we noticed that again um, that we are getting this red underline here, right?
Yeah.
And Akhilesh, and so we were. This ties back into what I was just talking about, like the language server. So basically, we realized that I realized that if you download this and you open an in VS Code, um, or Akhilesh realized this, that you still get these underlines. But then I realized that if you then run npm install, then they go away. So what's happening here is that the it here you have node modules here, but this editor doesn't
It's
see
not
the
aware
node.
of it.
And
Okay.
if you think about it, that is obviously going to happen um, because this editor is not running on the sandbox. This editor is running in the browser. So this directory doesn't exist according to the editor, and that's why you're getting these errors um, because clearly there are no modules. So I think a language server might be related to solving that. Might help us to solve that. But a language server also I think allows you to have IntelliSense and things.
Yeah.
I have to look into it. So yeah, this is just something that I'll be playing around with. That's all. As like an alternative to E2B. Oh, looks like they may have a way to even do terminals. Um, nice. Well, that's it. A lot of stuff.
Alright.
So I'm gonna merge the PR by Victor, and we're gonna
Also,
go.
James, would you be able to help with resolving the merge conflicts? Because I'm having some trouble.
Yeah, of course. With
Shouldn't take too long.
yeah, of course. But you still have bugs in that PR, don't you?
I don't. I don't.
You sure?
I mean, according to me, I don't. I don't think I have.
So if you so the
You
version
could
that
you
you
could test it. You
the
could
version
test
that
it.
you have now,
Yeah.
yeah, the version that you have now, that's not merged. You're saying it works without any bugs.
Hmm. I mean,
I can
there
open up.
can be there can be small bugs, but
Yeah, we're more worried about the big bugs. So let's look. Uh, okay. Let's look at
there might be some problem with what do you call it? The buttons placement, but I don't think there should be any other bugs than just the
um,
placement
let's look
ones.
at the bugs that we found. Okay, this was easy to
Yeah,
resolve. This one,
this is fixed too.
this is fixed. Okay.
Yeah,
This one.
yeah, it's fixed too.
Okay. Um, this one.
Yeah, I mean, whatever Akhilesh
Uh huh.
and you mentioned, I did work
Finish.
on those.
Okay, in this one, the inline diff widgets.
Except the one that Akhilesh, it wasn't really a bug, but he said it would be nice to have like a toast notification or something that tells the user that the change has been accepted. But you said
Yeah.
that it shouldn't be there, so it's not there currently. But yes,
Okay. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds optional. And
yeah.
then this one, the applying changes to other open files, is that fixed?
After applying changes in line diffs and apply the changes to other open files as well. No, it doesn't do that.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
um, okay. So yeah, then we'll see if we can merge it. Yeah, I guess we might as well just try it now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Although, yeah, I'll see if I'll provide you with a bit of help,
Okay.
and then if you need more, then Akilesh will help you more.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okie Well, that's all for now. Does anyone have any? Victor was just asking about the timeline. I'll just go, come back to that. I think the timeline is we want to get the editor. I think for now, with Victor's last PR, we're gonna freeze the backend for like we're not gonna merge any new backend PRs for the next 2 days, 2.5 days. But we'll keep doing the refactoring in the background. The priority is to get the AI editor updated for Wednesday, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Akhilesh has some refactoring on the front end. If possible, he'll merge that before Wednesday as well.
Cool.
Wait, we already did merge it, didn't we? Because let's see, pull request. No, he
I
has
did
this.
not. Did we not?
Oh, okay. No, he didn't. He couldn't merge it
Still
because
there.
of conflicts.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I thought your conflicts were coming from Akilesh's refactor. Then where are those coming from? From mine, from my refactor.
Yeah. Yeah. The project ID ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I changed very little. Okay, then that should be very straightforward. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Yeah, and then Akilesh will have to merge with your changes. Okay,
Cool.
great. Akilesh had some thoughts about changing the meeting schedule. I would prefer to talk about that when he's here too, though. Um, when everyone is here, we won't change the meeting schedule unless everyone agrees. So
Okay.
because this we're very lucky to be able to all meet together this time. So
Yeah,
we'll just see. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
you're welcome.
Good work.